Welcome, everyone. We're diving into something truly fascinating today. You know, if you've ever felt like your absolute biggest goals are just hovering slightly out of reach, or if you've been searching for a really focused, structured way to finally bridge that gap between just wishing for something and actually achieving it, well, you are definitely in the right place. In this explainer, we're going to explore how to unlock the universe's ultimate manifestation code through the divine power of 369. We'll be walking through exactly how this practice works, the fascinating history behind it, and the actual psychological framework that makes it so wildly effective.
So let's just jump right in with a quote from none other than the brilliant Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla. He famously said, "If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe." Now, Tesla's obviously famous for his scientific genius, but he also possessed this really deep spiritual enlightenment. He firmly believed that these 3 numbers held magnificent cosmic energy. I mean, he was literally so dedicated to these numbers that he allegedly walked around a city block 3 times before entering a building. To him, they weren't just random digits. They were the energetic blueprint of nature itself.
But before we get into the actual technique, let me ask you something. Are you seeing 3, 6, and 9 everywhere lately? Maybe you glance at the clock and it's 3:24, and wait, 3 plus 2 plus 4 is 9. Or maybe you're just seeing 369 directly on coffee receipts, license plates, or random phone numbers. Well, according to practitioners of this method, that is not a coincidence. It's actually considered a really powerful message from the universe. It's an invitation to slow down. It's a sign that your manifestation abilities are highly activated right now, and that your current thoughts and intentions are rapidly aligning to turn into physical reality.
All right, let's move into section 1, decoding the divine, where we'll unpack the energetic meaning of 3, 6, and 9.
Let's start with the unique power of the number 3. In this framework, 3 represents creation, expression, and a direct, divine link to the universe itself. Just think about the power of triads that we see everywhere in life, right? Past, present, and future. Birth, life, and death. The number 3 is your connection to divine creation. It's that vital initial spark where your intentions are born.
Moving on to the number 6. 6 really stands for balance, harmony, love, and that deep inner strength we all possess. So once you've created an intention with the number 3, the number 6 swoops in to act as the harmonious energy that grounds it. It represents the strength you have within yourself to hold onto your vision without wavering, making sure your mind, body, and spirit are perfectly balanced as you move towards your goal.
And finally, the master activation code itself, the number 9. 9 symbolizes completion, profound wisdom, and the crucial release of negativity. It's the number of true fulfillment. In the 369 sequence, 9 essentially finishes the cycle, helping you completely let go of any limiting beliefs or negative feelings that might be blocking your manifestation. Together, 3, 6, and 9 create this perfect, solid bridge between your thoughts and your physical reality.
Which brings us to section 2, the master technique. Let's talk about turning intention into reality. So, this is the classic 369 method, which was popularized by lightworker Corinne Yee, who brilliantly combined Tesla's numerical theory with established energetic practices. Here is the core daily routine. You grab a journal and a pen, and yes, writing by hand is highly recommended here to truly physically connect with the process. In the morning, right as you wake up, you write your clear positive affirmation exactly 3 times. This sets your intention to the universe. Then, in the afternoon, maybe on your lunch break, you write that exact same affirmation 6 times. This amplifies the energy. Finally, right before you go to bed, you write it 9 times to set your manifestation in stone. You're going to do this consistently for 33 to 45 days. Now, the structure is incredibly simple, but finding the discipline to do it when you're completely exhausted at night, that is the real challenge. But for sure, that consistency is what actually drives the results.
Let's look at exactly how to construct your affirmation. The most crucial point is that it absolutely must be specific and highly emotive. For example, I am so thankful for the universe aligning with me to attract 10,000 pounds into my bank account, bringing with it financial freedom, joy, and excitement into my life. Notice how it kicks off with gratitude, but even more importantly, it uses strong, kinesthetic words: freedom, joy, excitement. These are words you can literally feel in your body, because feeling the emotion of the end result is the actual fuel that makes this whole thing work.
Now for section 3, variations and adaptations, where we look at harnessing the power for your specific lifestyle. Okay, if you have a crazy busy schedule and just cannot journal 3 times a day, don't worry, there's flexibility built into the practice.
For instance, if you really want to intensify the feeling, you can use the 369 visualization technique, where you combine the writing with 30 to 60 seconds of purely feeling the end result. If you travel a lot or just hate writing, use the 369 speaking method. Simply say your affirmation out loud following that same 369 daily pattern. Then there's the incredibly effective alarm method. Set 6 alarms throughout your day, and when they go off, mentally repeat 3 specific goals 9 times. And finally, if you want to stay in an energy of pure abundance, try the 369 plus gratitude combo. You just list 3 things you are already grateful for after every single session.
Up next is Section 4, the science of the magic, where we bridge the divine with your brain. Now, if you're sitting here wondering if this is all just mystical wishful thinking, there is actually a very grounded psychological framework at play here. First up is the 17-second rule, which is a concept famously championed by Abraham Hicks. The idea is that it takes the brain exactly 17 seconds of pure, uninterrupted focus on a thought to create the energy required to align with that desire. And this is exactly why your written affirmation should be about 2 sentences long, because writing out 2 detailed emotive sentences naturally takes about 17 seconds. You're perfectly hitting that threshold to spark energetic alignment in your brain every single time you write it down.
And that ties directly into a biological mechanism in your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. You can kind of think of the RAS as a bouncer at the door of your subconscious. It filters out millions of pieces of irrelevant information every single second, and only lets in what you explicitly tell it is important. So by repeating your goals using the 369 method, you are actively reprogramming your RAS. You're literally training your brain to spot real-world opportunities, conversations, or ideas that match your desires, things you would have otherwise completely ignored. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Rules for Reality, covering some absolutely essential tips for 369 success. Think about the massive difference between using vague desires versus specific present tense affirmations. When you use future tense words like I will or I want, you're actually signaling a state of lack to the universe. You're basically saying you don't have it yet, and your brain just stays in a state of perpetually waiting. Instead, you've got to use highly specific affirmations in the present tense. I am. I have. I am so grateful that I am living in my dream home. You have to speak and feel as if your manifestation is already yours. It just hasn't physically arrived yet.
To quickly summarize the ultimate keys to success here, just remember these 4 pillars. First, feel the deep emotion of the end result. Emotion is absolutely the true catalyst here. Second, you've got to detach from the how. It is not your job to figure out every single tiny step. Just set your intention and trust divine timing. Third, maintain fierce consistency for at least 33 days. Honestly, most people quit after a week. And finally, avoid conflicting thoughts. You can't write an affirmation about financial abundance in the morning and then spend your entire afternoon stressing and obsessing over bills. You have to protect your energy.
We've explored the profound significance of Tesla's 3, 6, and 9. We've broken down the daily methods, the really cool brain science of the RAS, and the 17-second rule, and the essential rules for writing out your affirmations. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. The universe is totally ready to align with your intentions, but you have to make the first move. What are you going to manifest starting tomorrow morning? Grab a journal, choose your affirmation, and boldly step into the reality you want to create. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep your thoughts focused, and I'll catch you next time.